What is going on, you guys? It's your girl Diana back at you with another YouTube video. On Monday, they officially announced the 2-part DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And per usual, the data miners are coming in clutch and giving us all the tea on all the Pokemon that they were able to find in the game data that are supposed to be added in the DLC. So today, I'm going to be going over all of these supposedly returning Pokemon. So if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe so that you're always up to date with the latest Pokemon news, and give this video a thumbs up so that we can push it out into the YouTube algorithm so that more Pokemon fans can see it. And if you would like another way to support the channel, please feel free to check out the merch store. There is a link down below in the description that takes you to not only my merch store, but also all of my other socials so you can keep up with what I'm doing on a daily basis. But let's go ahead and hop into the returning Pokemon.
Bye.
So data miners were able to find data for 223 Pokemon that are supposed to be added in the DLC. And lucky for us, Pokeos actually has pictures of them so that we can look at them visually and you don't just have to stare at a list of Pokemon. But there's definitely a lot of Pokemon to go over, so let's go ahead and just hop into it. So starting off with Gen 1, we have Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, and Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. So we are getting the rest of the Kanto starters added back into the game, since we obviously already have Charizard and the rest of the Charizard line. We also have Ekans, Arbok, Sandshrew, Sandslash, Clefairy, Clefable, Vulpix, and Ninetales, two of my personal favorites, Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume, Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Poliwrath, Bellsprout, my homie, we love him, Weeping Bell, Victory Bell, Tentacool, and Tentacruel, which will be fun to see since we also have the Paldea version of them, which are supposed to be convergent evolutions, Geodude, Graveler, Golem, Doduo, Dodrio, Seal, Dewgong, Execute, Executor, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, Coughing, Wheezing, Rhyhorn and Rhydon, Horsey, Seadra, Electabuzz, Magmar, Lapras, Porygon, and Snorlax. So quite a few Gen 1ers coming back. Moving on to Gen 2, however, we are getting the Chikorita line. So Chikorita, Bayleaf, and Meganium, which are some of my favorite Pokemon because they're adorable and everyone talks so poorly about them because they say, oh, it's the worst starter. No. Okay, that's not the only thing that matters, all right? They got character. Leave the little plants alone. But we will also be getting the rest of the Johto starters, so Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion, of course, fan favorites, Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr, Sentret, Furret, Hoot, Noctowl, Spinarak, Artios, Chinchou, I never know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's how I'm gonna say it, Lantern, Cleffa, Blossom, another one of my favorites, it's adorable, Politoed, Aipom, Yanma, Gligar, Snubbull, Granbull, Slugma, Magcargo, Swinub, Piloswine, Skarmory, Kingdra, Porygon 2, Smeargle, Tyrogue, Hitmontop, Elekid, and Magby. Moving on to Gen 3, we have all of the Gen 3 starters. So we have Trico, Grovyle, and Sceptile, Torchic, Combuskin, Blaziken, Mudkip, Marshtomp, Swampert, Poochyena, Mightyena, Latoad, Lombre, Ludicolo, the homie, Seedot, Nuzleaf, Shiftry, Nosepass, Plusle, Minun, Volbeat, Illumise, which is apparently how that's supposed to be pronounced. I didn't know that until like 2 days ago. I've been pronouncing it Illumise for the longest time. Trapinch, Vibrava, Flygon, one of my personal favorites as well. I love Flygon. It should have been a pseudo and it should have also gotten a mega. It deserves more love. It's adorable. Corphish, Crawdaunt, Feebas, Milotic, which is the one that I'm most excited for. I love Milotic so much. It's literally like one of my top 5 Pokemon, if not top 3. Duskull, Dusclops, Chimecho, Beldum, Matang, and Metagross, another fan favorite, which I'm also excited for. And that just about wraps it up for Gen 3. Moving on to Gen 4, we do have all of the Gen 4 starters as well. So Turtwig, Grotle, Torterra, Chimchar, Monferno, Infernape, Piplup, which we all know how I feel about Piplup, Prinplup, not my fave, it's kind of awkward, it goes through the awkward teen phase, Empoleon, which is also a very cool typing being water and steel, Cranidos, Rampardos, Sheldon, Bastodon, Ambipom, Chingling, Munchlax, Rhyperior, Electivire, Magmortar, Yanmega, Gliscor, Mamoswine, Porygon Z, Probopass, Dusknoir, Blitzel, Zebstrika, Drillbur, Excadrill, Timber, and Girder, as well as Conkeldurr, Swaddle, Swadloon, Leviani, Cottony, Whimsicott, Scraggy, Scrafty, Minccino, Cinccino, Solosis, Duosion, Reuniculus, Ducklet, Swanna, Joltik and Galvantula, which are two of my favorite bug types, contrary to popular belief. I do like some bug types. And Joltik and Galvantula are two of them because they're adorable little fluffy spiders. Just look at them. How can you not love them? But somebody told me that Joltik is supposed to be a tick and not a spider, but I don't care. It's a spider in my eyes. We also have Litwick, Lampant, and Chandelure, which Chandelure is another one of my top 10 Pokemon. Mienfoo, Mienshao, Golett, Golurk, Vullaby, Mandibuzz, Esper, which I quite literally forget that this thing exists like 95% of the time, but it's coming back, along with Meowstic, Inkay, Malamar, Phantump, and Trevenant. I feel like I say that one weird too, but just roll with it, okay? You get the gist. I also did just realize that we literally didn't get a single one of the Gen 5 starters, which I thought was interesting. Do we just not care about Gen 5? Because I did not see one single Snivy, Dewott, or Tepig line. Supposedly Samurott is supposed to be in the game though, so I guess eventually we'll get the Oshawott line. I feel like they also didn't put in the Kalos starters either, unless I'm like blind. But of course we already got Greninja, so does that mean that they're not gonna add the rest of the Kalos starters either? I don't know, but this is getting a little weird. But moving on to the next gen, we have Rowlet, Dartrix, and Decidueye, which this line starts off so strong for me. I love Rowlet, but I'm not the biggest fan of Decidueye. Litten, Torracat, and Incineroar. I feel the same way about the Litten line. I love Litten, and Torracat is cool, but I can't do Incineroar. Popplio, Brionne, and Primarina, which I feel like this is like the least popular of the evolutionary lines out of all the starters, but I like Popplio, and Primarina's cute. But we're also getting Pick-a-Peck, Trumbeak, Toucannon, Grubbin, Charjabug, Vikable, Cutiefly, which everybody says that's me now because of the filter that gave me bug fairy typing. And of course it's evolution, which I mean, I guess if I had to be a bug fairy type, at least it's adorable. Dewpider, Araquanid, Comfey, Minior, Jangmo-o, Hakamo'o, Como-o, which I feel like we haven't seen this line in a hot minute, Camarant, I feel like I pronounced these two weird too, but Milcery, Alcremie, Morpeko, Duraludon, Wordier, Cleaver, Ursaluna, Basculegion, Sneasler, Overquill, Enamorus, so not too terribly many of the Hisui Pokemon it seems like. And lastly, our newly announced Gen 9 DLC Pokemon, which are Okidogi, Bezendipity, Munkidori, Ogerpon, and our supposed third legendary Terapagos, which is adorable and I need it in my life right now. But there you have it, that is all 223 of the data mine Pokemon that they are supposed to be adding in the DLC. One thing that I did notice, in addition to them not putting a single one of the Gen 5 starters in the DLC, I also didn't see a single legendary Pokemon, which you would think that they would add those into the DLC like they usually do. So I'm hoping that this list is incomplete, or there's still time for them to like switch things around. I mean, technically there is still missing Pokemon since the official Scarlet and Violet announcement said 230 Pokemon are going to be added in the DLC. So obviously we're missing a few here and there, which like I said, supposedly we are supposed to be getting like the Oshawott line, as well as supposedly getting the rest of the Kalos starters since we already have Greninja. But now this list kind of has me doubting everything, so I don't know. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and let me know if any of your favorites made it onto the list. Clearly I had a couple of mine make it. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this video for me. Thank you to those of you who have joined the channel as members. I appreciate you all so much. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.